Hey folks, Quilly Team here, and welcome to Let's Try Alchemortis, or rather the playtest for Alchemortis, because this is still in really early development. What's this game like? Imagine Slay the Spire, but instead of a deck building game, it's inventory management, and instead of the cards/items that you get having basically just one fixed ability, more or less, you get items that have a multitude of abilities on them, and the ability to craft them in such a way that you mix and match. You're basically building your own cards, except they're items. Anyway, I think this has got fantastic potential. Also, I love the high contrast, lo-fi, kind of dark visuals over here. I think that's very, very well executed. I've only played a little bit. I did do one very nicely successful run with the Necromancer, where I went through without dying, because yes, dying and resurrection is a mechanic in this game, which allowed me to unlock the Courier, but I'm just gonna go with the Necromancer because it's got a cool minion theme, and I think that resonates pretty well. You can see that I have beaten the base difficulty once, so I've unlocked the next difficulty, but we'll just go in with the base difficulty over here and get started. We can see our Necromancer starts with 2 items. A pair of Skeleton Warriors, has a starting artifact that increases minion critical chance by 15%, and we get a little bit of flavor text. Let's go into the game and see how all this shakes out. Now, we're not going to go into a fight immediately, so some of the combat mechanics or some of the mechanics may not be immediately obvious, but let's see. Ooh, I would love to go over here and pick up an artifact. First thing we're going to do is, and so you can see we've got a Slay the Spire style map. It feels bigger than Slay the Spire. It's got the Fog of War kind of mechanic over here, so you don't necessarily know where things are leading to. The map isn't divided into acts like Slay the Spire, although it sort of is, because there's going to be a stronghold over here that's kind of a pinch point that you have to go through ultimately. So there's a little bit of that vibe going on. These booster packs, so this is how we're going to get extra items. So this one here will have booster packs for reagents, relics, and poison items. Over here, minion. I would love more minion packs, but I really want this artifact. Minion fire alchemical, undead minion fungus, and over here, fungus undead. Wow, this is the only one that doesn't have minions or undead as a pack, which I think would be great, but maybe the poison one will have something interesting. Let's go and take a look. So come over here, and the way the booster packs are presented is we have 3 choices over here. Before we look at those, let's take a look at our situation. This box, these are our equipped items. These are what will fire in combat. So we start with a pair of Skeleton Warriors, and how do they work? Well, they have a minion tag and the undead tag. These are just keywords that don't do anything in and of themselves, although we have to remember any minions that we get have a 25% increased crit chance. So minion tags are especially good for us as a Necromancer. Every 3 seconds, this item will trigger its abilities, and its abilities are deal 4 damage, and then it's got room for a second ability. There's also a space in here. Everything can get enchanted once, which is in addition to these ability slots. It's tier 1. Items go all the way up from tier 1 to tier 5, although that can be increased as well with some artifacts. And leveling up the tier of an item, basically, as far as I can tell, basically gives +1 to your numbers down here, more or less. I'm sure the actual number depends on what the value is and then type and things like that. But basically, you can think of when you level up something, all the abilities over here sort of get a +1. We have a 15% crit chance on this minion. The reason we have that is because we do have the artifact for it, and on a crit, it does deal 1.5 times normal damage. You also get, you don't have tooltips on the keywords over here, but you get the description. Any keywords that show up on all these abilities will be described down here, which is a really nice way of doing it. I think the user interface is fairly strong here. There's some opaque things, some special abilities like burn and poison. It doesn't seem to be explained in game. I don't know if there's a compendium outside of here where I could have checked the rules. That might be possible, but we'll see. Anyway, you got a stash where we can keep unequipped items, and then you can also sell by going down here. Items will have, you can see here, the skeletons do sell for 2 blood. Blood is the primary currency over here. We also have this regeneration token. And one of the big mechanics in the game will be alchemy, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Okay, so our boosters. The way these boosters work is you always get one booster that shows you 5 items, one that shows you 4, and one that shows you 3. The 5-item ones, you have more items, so there's a higher chance you see something really good, but you can only get one of them. Middle one, we get to pick 2, and the bottom one, we see 3, we get to pick all 3. I think I will go for the bottom one here because I think I want to grab as many items as possible early on, and poison might work out with undead, I don't know. It feels thematically good. Oh, we would get another minion here, a man-eating wasp. I don't know why a man would eat a wasp. It sounds painful to me, but sure. So this has a 6.5 second cooldown. It's quite slow. And what does it do? Well, it has an innate ability, and again, you can get a description over here, where it projects to adjacent allies with a poison ability Echo. So if If we put the wasp next to an allied item, that's any item in here, that has poison, they will gain the echo trait, which will allow their ability to trigger a second time. This also innately applies poison. I don't think this would be worth slotting in early on because, first of all, we don't have any other items with poison yet, so this wouldn't currently trigger, although we might grab some more over here. And by itself, it doesn't generate that much. Like, our skeletons hit for 4 damage, 5 poison. I mean, it'll be over time and presumably will add up more, but its attack quite low. I don't know if it's priority to equip right away. Although it must have a built-in crit chance, which is nice. I wonder, is it possible that it's 25 plus the 15? Or is this already calculated in? I don't know. Higher crit multiplier, which is nice. I think we'll grab it regardless, and then we'll figure out what we're grabbing afterwards. We got Stonehew here, which deals armor damage, which is damage that only applies to armor, and then deals damage equal to armor damage dealt by this item since last execution. It's interesting. This works really good against enemies that generate armor because it does 12 damage per execution, although it's quite slow, and then deals bonus damage afterwards. It's also got more slots, which is good. And then it's interesting though. This was the poison pack. Stonehew doesn't have poison on it. Maybe it's not guaranteed that everything in it will have it. There's also Ceremonial Dagger here, which is an item that applies poison, applies 2 poison instead if adjacent to an item that applies poison. And oh, it's Projected Echo. It's because it's adjacent to this man-eating wasp. It does think it's got it now. Well, we're going to grab all 3, clearly. That's not a question. I don't think Stonehew's going to stick around, but let's see. We're going to go over here because an artifact is cool, although upgrading 2 units or cards is also really cool. But I like artifacts. So we're being offered, we get to pick one of these 3. Broken Sundial. On combat start, increase the cooldown of one random enemy item by 8 seconds. That is a really good defensive effect. Kainwar's Cauldron. Reagents have a 25% chance to be applied twice when used in alchemy. So we don't have a reagent yet, but reagents are items that only apply in alchemy. We haven't shown alchemy yet, but we'll see. Primeval Hand. Anytime poison, bleed, fire, or armor is applied by an allied item, take 1 damage. So I would take a damage whenever we apply poison, but it would increase the amount of stacks by 1. It's probably good. If we're gonna go and do some poison things, I mean, self-damage sounds bad. We don't have any heals or lifesteal yet. Other than just taking the Broken Sundial, this is gonna be more powerful early on because early on we're gonna be facing enemies with very small boards and very few items. So this is going to be a significant crippling of their board. Later on, boards are going to get much bigger and this won't have as much of an effect, but this should carry us early on. I am tempted to do this and go like a full status build, but you know, is forcing a status build the way to go? We do have a couple of poison items already. Skeleton Warriors don't help. You know, I'm going to take it just because it's a skeletal hand and it feels thematic. I don't know if that was the right pick, but it sure was, I think, the most on theme. All right, so we're going to face our first enemy over here. Our enemy has 61 hit points. I have 50, and they work with items same as me. So you can see here the Ox every 4.4 seconds will deal 5 damage, and its damage will increase by 2 every time it executes. And they've also got prayer beads over here, so this guy is going to self-heal. He's going to heal for about 1 hit point per second. All right, let's work out our board here. So if nothing else, we can increase our damage simply by adding a Ceremonial Dagger. Do we add in the Wasp? Sure. Oops. Let's do it. And then we've got room for Stonehew here. But here's the thing. I don't think Stonehew is going to do anything because they aren't generating any armor, but I may as well stick it in. So we'll do that and we'll just hit each other. Start combat. Now you can see the outline here filling up. That's as its cooldown. I'd be curious to see how much damage is self-damage versus not. Yeah, I can't pay attention here. Well, there's a combat log. I don't know if Stonehew is ever going to do damage, and I think the answer is probably no. Wait, yeah, how does the poison damage work? So, okay, at the end here they had 19 stacks of poison. Although, okay, so we're subtract the 6, so at 13. How the poison is being applied. Oh, we lost the battle. Okay, so we're gonna resurrect here. So I was a little concerned about this. Okay, maybe the wasp isn't cutting it. Let's put in the skeleton warriors back in. Plus, we'll self-damage ourselves a little bit less. The ceremonial dagger will still slowly apply some poison. We might just be killing ourselves. And yeah, unfortunately, Stonehew is not going to be helping at all this combat. Oh, when we resurrect, it doesn't reset their health. Oh, okay, that's quick. Ooh. I like the mosquito swarm. I had my really good run used the mosquito swarm to great effect. So this is going to apply poison and bleed, which will self-damage us more, but we'll get more stacks, which may be good. I don't know. More bleed stack is good. You can see it heals us for half of the amount of bleed stacks applied since last execution. So it'll be a slow heal. It's also got a swarm ability. I really like swarm. What happens, and we can right click to get the description. Whenever an item with a swarm ability triggers, a random swarm ability on another item is triggered, and you can get some really funky chaining going on with that. What else you got? The Mandrake will paralyze adjacent items and heal us for that. Okay. And the Dowsing Rod increases critical chance by 50%. We could go with a crit build, especially since we got a base for that, but the Mosquito Swarm is a minion, and it's actually pretty funky. All right. This fight is going to be... We don't have another Resurrection Stone, and honestly, our board isn't really better than before. I guess the question is putting in the minion swarm going to be better than these three? What do you got? It'd be great if you generated armor. You don't generate armor. I'm going to unequip that. I'm going to equip the mosquito swarm. And then Stonehew's still not going to do anything, and I still can't put anything in here. Ooh, this doesn't look good. I don't know. Mosquito Swarm is quite slow at 5.1 seconds. Oh, he healed before I even hit him, so that's funny. And there you go. He has taken the damage over time. All right. No, but this is looking fantastic. All right. Oh, did that? Oh, were you blinded? Yeah, we might have been blinded there, and it might have prevented us from attacking one time. There we go. Done. You do full heal in between combat. And we choose an item here. Plague Mask applies poison, also self-poisons, but then heals me based on that self-poison. Oh, here's the poison description. Is that always there? Oh, I'm an idiot. Poison deals 1 poison damage for every 0.4 seconds, plus 1 additional damage for every 15 stacks. Stack amount decays by 1 every 0.4 seconds. Plus an additional decay of 1 per 15 stacks. Can be affected by critical modifiers. Bypasses armor. Okay. Interesting is every 0.4 seconds. So even a single point of poison, a single stack of poison will deal 1 damage. After that, you're getting 1 damage, like the number of stacks divided by 15. This doesn't feel like fantastic scaling, does it? So, effectively 1 poison stack, and is dealing about like 2 and change DPS in a way, if you can maintain it. I mean, I guess we'll still go and work with it. I don't know where we're going to fit the Plague Mask into our build, though. We're going to have to expand twice horizontally just to be able to equip the Plague Mask and that. But maybe it's time to do some Alchemy. That's probably most likely. Yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to start doing some Alchemy, because we need to empower ourselves. Let's get... Oh, that's max health increase. Okay, do this. Take a look at Alchemy soon. So, I've got a certain amount of blood. You're always offered 3 potions here. The base heal will change as you go deeper. So the first one is always 15 extra health, which is pretty substantial. And then you can either spend 5 or 15 blood to increase the health, and it's based on the amount of blood you spend. So this is the 15 plus 5. This is the 15 plus 15. So it works out. I do need to keep some blood for some alchemy, so I think I'll just do the baseline over here. Okay, we're going to be upgrading an item. Before I do that, I'm definitely going to have to do some alchemy. So let's do that. Mosquito Swarm here has those 4 abilities you can see. An innate one, the swarm one, the apply poison and bleed, but it's got 4 empty ability slots. I would love to fill that with more abilities. So we're going to go and alchemize. And alchemize only really makes sense if you put in more than one thing in here. So let's go and throw in the Plague Mask. So what's going to happen is you can see the Plague Mask has 3 abilities on it, right? Apply poison to self. Ooh, this could be a little Well, it'll apply all 3. So the Mosquito Swarm will gain 3 abilities. It'll gain these 3 abilities. The Plague Mask will also gain 2 abilities because it has 2 empty slots. And one of its abilities will be replaced because we're copying the Mosquito Swarm abilities to the Plague Mask and the Plague Mask abilities to the Mosquito Swarm. We could give you a little bit more. What is this based in? I guess we could apply a little bit more poison and stack that. Actually, I think the Man-Eating Wasp would be even better. So now the Mosquito Swarm will gain 4 abilities. And there's going to be some shuffling of these guys, but the Mosquito Swarm will gain some pretty good stuff. Innate can't be copied, by the way. So that is one of the things that tells you right over here. It can't be transferred. So we're not going to get the innate ability. What we're going to get is the apply 5 poison ability on the Swarm. It's going to cost me 5 blood. Let's do it. Everything goes in the pot. Everything gets reshuffled. And now we have our new stronger Mosquito Swarm over here. It still has its own innate. It still has the Swarm. It still has these 2 abilities. Now it's also going to heal if we take poison damage. And it's going to apply a ton more poison damage, including some to ourselves, but it will self-heal that. So we're going to go and yoink those guys out of there and keep them around. But these also got shuffled, and actually that Man-Eating Wasp is fucking fine. So the Plague Mask doesn't have the heal on poison anymore. It does have another Swarm effect, which is kind of interesting. And I can always sell these for some blood if I need it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade the Mosquito Swarm. So all these abilities over here will basically get a +1, right? If we look at the bottom, that might include more poison to self. I don't know if it'll increase the heal. So 4, 4, 5, 1, 5, 5 from the bottom. Upgrade. And more self poison. Oh, but considerably, like twice as much heal per poison. Okay, that is actually a huge upgrade. And yeah, we may as well keep Stone Hue in here, even though it's not doing much for us. We're going to come over here to a booster. And, ritual items, undead items, innate items. Let's go undead. Because it feels like undead might be more likely to have minions, and it does. There's an Abomination here, which has the bleed. There's a Skeleton Warrior, a Dowsing Rod, which increases crit, which apparently does work with poison. Alembic, apply 1 poison per allied item above and to the right. It's quite big. Although, if we went and just grew our board once vertically and moved Stone Hue out of here, we could end up putting the Alembic here, and we could still put something like the Ceremonial Dagger there, and then this would boost some things. Okay, we're going to take the Alembic with the intention of actually using it, I would say. And then for the second item, we might just be taking something to sell. I like the Abomination. You don't have poison. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go and sell you outright. Yeah, I think that's fine. All right, we still need the blood. Increase board size. So yeah, I think I'll go with the vertical growth. So you get to grow up and down, which is mechanically exactly the same, just mostly convenience, and left and right. So we'll grow downwards, even though I talked about growing horizontally a couple times before. But now I think this will be better. We're not going to use Stone Hue anymore. Okay, what do we have here? Heal and Swarm abilities. You know what? I don't want the paralysis since I only have 1 big dude. So we're going to come over here. All right, and here's the plan. Oh, if you need to shuffle, you can temporarily put something over here, for example. And then we can do this. Okay, we're probably gonna end up selling it. I guess it would have told us on the map. It does gain some armor. One time we take this out, but I think this is still better. It's too bad we don't have a 1x1 to fit in here. But I think this should be fairly beefy. Sure as heck gonna stack a lot of poison. Again, might mean some self-damage. A lot of armor. We are bypassing the armor. Although, again, the Stone Hue, would it have been better? I don't know. Oh my god, this is a tight race. There we go. Woo-wee! And then what do we get? A Tapeworm. Heal? And then exhausts. Oh. Okay, so it's a one-shot. It fires off 1 time, the Tapeworm. It'll heal us for 20. Apply one random enemy minion. Apply 2 poison to self. Then project to 1 random. Oh, so it spreads. Oh, that's really interesting. So this fires off 1 time, heals us, and then infects an enemy minion item, only minion item, not just any item, to self poison, and then it keeps spreading to, at that point, allied ones on that side of the board. So it's spread to all the minions there. So if we're fighting someone with a lot of minions, the Tapeworm could go and eat them up pretty crazily, but no. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take the tier 2 ceremonial dagger. This applies 1 poison /2. This would apply 2 poison /4. So it's clearly better. So that'll be the plan. Another combat. Oh, more armor abilities. Of course, we run into all the armor dudes when we're not running this. Should I? Well, no, if I put this in, we would not be running things very efficiently, would we? All right, let's go. At least the poison does bypass a lot of armor, so that's something. Oh, do I want to alchemy again before we do this? Actually, yeah, we probably should. The Olympics got tons of empty slots. I'm gonna do this. The corruption is when there's not, apparently when there's not enough stuff here. Well, if we throw in the ceremonial dagger, this is gonna shuffle some things. And I don't know what order it would shuffle things in. But let's do it, see what happens. The Alembic, poison bleed, and an echo. That seems pretty good. Lots of poison, great. And then you guys got some stuff shuffled as well, but I think we'll go with that board. Okay, I'm gonna say this is definitely better than before. Every single one of our ability slots is currently occupied. We've got a bit of a poison strat. Okay, we also self-damage still. Could really use more actual healing, though. I mean, we're healing based on self-inflicted poison, but that's just sort of a break even, right? Okay, what do we have here? Planta Carnivora. Innate passive, copies all damage abilities of adjacent allied items. On combat start, exhaust adjacent allied items. Okay, so it sort of eats them. Reduce the remaining cooldown of this item by 0.1 whenever an allied item deals damage. Wow, that is crazy. We could get another Plague Mask. I think we're probably just going to sell here. Plus, okay, this heals 1 for each allied item execution since... Okay, I'm going to take the Heart of Stovak just because I need a 1/1 item, and I was just saying that it would be nice to have some healing. This isn't going to heal that much. This would heal a lot more with a bunch of short cooldown items, and I think our little sword here is fairly short cooldown. Yeah, 1.6 seconds is pretty short. And... Oh, and to the right. Oh, wait, hold on. This doesn't have to the right anymore. What we want to do is we want to shuffle this over like this. This will only have 1 item to the right. But yeah, that is still better than what we had. Yeah, a little bit of healing. All right, what do we have here? Obelisk. Transform 1 nearby encounter into a shop. Ooh. All nearby shop encounters will contain items upgraded by the initial tier. Transform a nearby encounter into a board growth. Oh, I would love a board growth. I think that's got to be the most powerful thing. So we're going to do that. So something on the board. That was a booster pack. It's now a board growth. We definitely want that. We got an item upgrade. I think we probably upgrade the Mosquito Swarm because, again, it's got the most abilities. And if that upgrades our heal to 3 per damage taken, per poison damage taken, that continues to be a pretty impressive heal. It does go there. We apply a little bit more self-poison, but that seems okay. We don't have any swarm abilities, which is too bad because we're not taking advantage of that. Increase board size. What direction do I go in? I think I need to go horizontally. And then it'll be interesting because we might want to run... Yeah, I think that's exactly what for convenience, I should have clicked the other button. But we can put this here, and I'm going to put the man-eating wasp. Adjacent allied items with poison get echo, apply poison, apply poison, apply poison, and some heal. Yep. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. We have to do this fight. Oh, which is going to poison us. Which we kind of don't care about. Yeah, because it's not heal for self-poison. It's all poison on us heals us. So we can kind of shrug it off. Although it might kill us first. Let's see. All right. So we're going to hit. Eat lots and lots and lots and lots of poison. Bigger health pool would feel a lot better for us. Oh, look at those. Those hits, though. Mosquito Swarm. 7 points. 56. Oh, I think it crit. The Swarm ability does trigger, by the way. We do get the 14 damage. It doesn't chain to anything else. And then, yeah, every third execution, damage dealt previous 2 executions. So you do get some big boosts. A gnome, another alembic. and a Corvid. I think... I mean, I could take the Alembic as potentially part of a poison build. There's a good chance that's just going to end up getting sold. Oh, there's something to be said about the gnome. Just flat out bunch of damage and some armor gain, but it doesn't combo with us. So I think I'll just grab that. Possibly it's just going to get sold. Artifact versus max health. Oh, that's tough. Because I think a health buffer would be really useful. It does lead to poison items. It leads to an enchantment. Oh, no. Because I like artifacts. We might whiff and not get anything useful. Let's be greedy. All right, come on, baby. What do you got? Oh, I could get a second Skull Wand. There's, in this game, apparently, there's nothing preventing you from stacking similar copies of an artifact. And more crit. That's nice. The Spade gives us, shows us more items per booster pack. We don't get to take more, but it shows us more. Helm of Joffrey the Great. All allied items that deal damage apply 3 armor. This would be a good defensive boost. It doesn't protect us against all the self-imposed poison, for example. But all allied items that produce damage. So this doesn't actually do damage directly, nor does this. Yeah, currently only the Mosquito Swarm would armor us up. Okay, I think we're going to go with the Skull Wand, and we're going to try to crit more. And maybe we can build a crit build around it. The booster pack, we're going to look at the poison items for sure. Not going to get a huge selection, but we will get to pick 3. And... this one has poison. Oh, on a Swarm ability. True damage for at least 1 allied fungus. We don't have allied fungus. Okay. I'm going to grab the Pillion to keep. We might be able to put the Swarm on something else through Alchemy. The rest, I mean, your minion, sure... You do have a lot of slots. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be using the second Alembic, right? I'm going to sell you. I might keep the Abomination. Just because you're a minion with a lot of slots, and maybe we'll reshuffle what you've got. I don't think we're looking to add burn. I think I'm just going to sell you as well. Okay. Now, we have a Stronghold, so this is going to be a big fight. It does have armor. Hello, Mayor Albrecht. Let's think about what we might want to alchemize. So none of these things have empty slots. We could still do some alchemy with them to maybe shuffle them. But I think I kind of like the idea of what can we do with this Abomination? I wonder if we can give the Abomination the poison and or the Swarm effect. That would be pretty cool. Let's see what we get here. Poison, bleed, poison self. It does have the Swarm and then more poison. Is that better than the man-eating wasp? Got a little bit of healing, which I do like. And it does give Echo. It gives Echo to all of these. Echo, I don't know if I explained it. Echo, whenever you trigger this card, Echo picks one of these things at random and triggers it a second time. I think the man-eating wasp here is still better. Even though I like the Swarm effect a lot. Forget you can just click and put it over here. It's also really quite good, auto organizing of your stash, which is really nice. The only thing you don't have is I can't say this to swap. Man-eating wasp comes back over here. But because you've got a little extra placeholder and you can use that as temp storage to swap some things, it seems okay. All right, I think I'm gonna go with this. And let's see, 208 hit points to chop through. We did have the other Skull Wand. Maybe we'll get a bunch more crits and maybe it'll turn out good. Oh no, we're getting our butt kicked. We don't have a resurrection. No! Oh! The heal went off! Oh no! Oh, resurrect! Resurrect! No! Oh no, I want to keep going. All right. Unfortunately, it was a little slow, and probably I should have gone for the max health increase, but I wanted to do the greed. That's a shame. I kind of thought that we'd probably lose this one. Maybe, you know what I could have done? I could have tried to alchemize again. I could have done a few more rolls. I had the blood for it, but oh well. I hope this was a good demo though of the game. I think this is very compelling. Now, it might be a situation as often happens with me where I'm like, I don't want to spend too much time on the game while it's in super early release because I might burn out before there's all the content. But I think there is a decent amount of content. We can check the unlocks over here. You can see I've only seen a fraction of the items available. Now, part of that might be a result of the fact that I've only played the Necromancer. I haven't played the Courier yet, for example. Look at these bundles. This unlocked by winning a combat encounter with at least 7 ritual items on the board. Is this how you unlock items? Maybe. Ooh. And the artifacts over here, unlocked by acquiring the first time. Oh, that might just mostly be revealing it. I don't know. And then characters. So there's a character here, unlocked by acquiring 100 undead items. Well, I should keep working on undead items to unlock that. Applying poison. Okay. And winning a run at difficulty 4. And what's clearly good about this design, I don't know what the developer has in mind, but this is clearly the sort of thing that you can keep expanding on later by adding more characters, by adding more items. Like if you wanted to iterate on this continuously, you really could, which is really exciting because if a game is good, I'm fine with the developers continuing to put out more content, hopefully as a combination of free updates, maybe DLC for more characters, because you gotta, keep getting paid for your time. I think this game has a ton of potential. I'm really excited for it. Sorry I couldn't show you a win on this one, but at the same time, maybe a loss is better than a trivial win to demonstrate things. Thanks for watching, folks. There'll be a link down below where you can, you think you should be able to get into the playtest for Alchemortis over on Steam if you want. Do take a look around, and yeah, I'll see you next time for more of something. I may make a few more of these Alchemortis videos. We'll see. If you do like the video, do make sure to like and drop a comment. It really helps with the algorithm and can be a good sign of what kind of content to make in the future. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.